As you can see, the hood's up on my Focus ST again, so that must signal major problems, right? Actually, no, I do have problems, but they're little problems. One of the problems I actually created for myself when I did the transmission swap, as I stressed the heater hoses a little too much whenever I lowered the engine, and now they're seeping coolant. And the other problem just recently developed, and that's the radiator's leaking. Now it's leaking where the core meets the plastic side tanks. Common problem. I hate plastic radiators, and I don't feel like spending $600 on a Mishimoto all aluminum radiator. So we're going to replace this radiator today with an OEM one. Now before we start, I actually ask that you please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and sign up for notifications. So many of you are watching the videos, but you're not hitting that like button and you're not subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and it supports my channel so I can keep bringing you content like this, and it's just a good human thing to do. So I'll thank you in advance for doing that. All right, let's get into the car. Okay, what we got here is a little bit of antifreeze on the ground from sitting in the garage overnight. And you can see the drips on my lower skid plate underneath the radiator. Now, as you can see, we're wet between the seam of the radiator where it meets the plastic tank. And it goes up even higher. First things first, we have to remove the front bumper. So let's start with the headlights. This is a T27 Torx. Push down on the release tab here, push forward on the harness, and then pull it out. We're going to remove our hood latch cable by pulling it up and out of the bracket and bringing it off to the side and slipping it out. Undo a couple screws, a couple of trim clips. Then we need to start removing the bolts from the splash shield underneath. Any bolts that you have in your fender liner that go into the bumper, you need to remove those as well. Okay, now we can start pulling the front bumper away from the fender just by pulling until it releases out of the body clips that are in there. Take out these two mounting bolts. Okay, now we should be able to start pulling the bumper away from the car. Now just remember, when you do pull this away, be careful because your fog light wiring harness is going to be down here. And you're going to want to disconnect that. It's only going to be on this side, on the driver's side. Let's start pulling away. There we go. Bumper gone. Okay, I'm going to take the impact absorber off next. And you see there's some release tabs here. Push down on the top and up on the bottom. And you can get it to release from the crash bar. Now's a good time if you have any rust spots forming, like I have a slight one right here. Now's a good time to take care of those. Sand that down, put a little bit of primer and some paint. Fix rust issues before they become a major problem. We're going to take our lower air dam off. Now we're going to disconnect the harness for the active grille shutters by pressing down on this yellow tab and pulling out. Next you want to unclip the harness from the radiator support bracket. And you want to unclip it from the bottom of the bracket as well. And you can pull the harness through. Next, loosen up the clamp for the hot side charge pipe on the intercooler. And then carefully you want to remove the charge pipe from the intercooler. There it is. Now you want to do the same thing on the cold side. Alright, now with the cold pipe off, we're going to take an 8mm and undo the two bolts that hold the intercooler in. Alright, now you can remove your intercooler. Slide it out. And there we go. Now we should be able to start getting these active shutters out. They're held in place to the radiator here and on the other side as well. With the intercooler out of the way and the grille shutters off, now you can see your AC condenser. You need to be really careful with this. We're going to do this in such a way that we do not release the pressure from our AC system. Our AC works good. I don't feel like evacing the system and refilling it. So we're just going to try to get this condenser out of our way enough that we can get the radiator out. It's held in similar to the way the grille shutters were. There's clips here, but you need to push in and then push up and it'll release. All right, there's a 10mm bolt securing the condenser to the radiator. We need to take that out. Okay, off to the driver's side of your radiator at the bottom, there's going to be a port there you're going to hook a hose to. This is so we can drain the radiator out. So before you drain your coolant, put this hose on and have it going into whatever container you're going to catch it with. Purina Tidy Cats for the win. We're going to loosen up our reservoir cap to allow this to vent and it flows better. After it's drained enough that your reservoir is empty, you can then take the line from the reservoir off the top of the radiator. Just pinch these two tabs together and slide it off. Alright, now we want to release the lower radiator hose. It's on the driver's side. There's a clip right here at the end of my point that you just need to pull out to release the hose. These could be tight. Just be careful with them. Don't damage your hoses. Just work them off. There it is. Now do the same for your upper hose. This one's a little trickier to get to. Just work it off. Okay, inside here, you'll see the fan harness we need to take off. So release that. Pull the harness up, like so. And then we need to release the trim clip off of the fan shroud as well. Take our fan harness out. Take the other harness that was above the active shutter harness off of the radiator support. Just slides off of this trim clip. Okay, we need to support the bottom of the radiator bracket, so I have a jack stand underneath it here. And then we're going to want to undo the 4 10mm bolts that are holding it in place on both sides. Okay, now it's time to start lowering the radiator out. And while we do that, we need to watch our condenser that we don't break our lines, and we're going to have to support the condenser after we get the radiator a little lower. If you still have this foam strip here at the top, now's time to take that off. Undo your release tabs here for the condenser on both sides. Okay, I supported my condenser with a zip tie up to the radiator support. That should hold it in place on this side. May not be a bad idea to support this side too. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, with the condenser free from the radiator, we can start lowering the radiator down. Okay, our radiator is now out, and we need to separate the fan from it. We can also pop the radiator out of our lower mount. Now we can release our fan from it by bending this tab out here and just lifting it up, like so. That one's out, and that one is out. Alright, there's our fan. You need to take these rubber grommets off of here because you need to reuse those. Ow! I got it! I stabbed myself in the leg with a screwdriver, which I saw coming a mile away. That's okay. I got another one. There's that one. Very nice. And once you got these damn things off, you need to transfer them to your lower radiator support. They go on much easier. Yeah, real nice. At this point, installation is just reverse of the removal, so I'll see you when we have this radiator back in. Alright, now with the radiator back in place, I don't have the bumper back on yet, but I'm going to replace these leaking heater hoses. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my intake off all the way down to the turbo, just to give me plenty of room, get my hands in, and get these hoses off. Alright, so start taking your intake off. Okay, this is my new left-hand hose, and I wanted to show you this Lisle tool that I bought that slips over top of here, slips up in the locking mechanism, like so, and it allows you to twist and unlock and lock these. Now I'll link this tool in the description. We're going to use this to take our left hose off. And our left hose is the one that has the clamp and comes right here to the driver's side of the engine bay in the back. Okay, I have that one unlocked. There it is. Now we're going to come over to this side and get our hose clamp off. Alright, I'm not going to be able to show you this, but you see that hose clamp down there. You're going to take that off so you can get your hose out. I need two hands, so I'm not going to be able to film it. I'm sorry. Alright, I got that hose out of the way. Now I need to take the other one off. I'm going to actually undo down here first. Let me get my Lyle tool. I think I got that turned all the way. Now I'm going to try to pull it off of here. There we go. Just one more of those quick connects to get off, and that's in the back. So it might be a little trickier to get to. It's got these AC lines in the way. Okay. I got it to spin. Get my tool off. There it is. You can get a better view in there where that one came off of. Came off right here above the transmission. And the other one is back here. I know it's a little hard to see, but right here. Installation on this, reverse of the removal. Okay, if you can see back there, there's still some O-ring material on the piping of the heater core. We're going to clean that off with a brass brush. We need to have a complete clean surface before we stick these new hoses on. Okay, it's time for the EP Auto Spill-Proof Funnel Kit. It's, well, it's from Amazon, but it really works. And it helps you bleed your coolant system. So you just got to find the right adapter for your application. That's close enough. Like so. Alright, what we're going to do is fill up the cooling system, and we're going to monitor for any leaks. Alright, at this point I'm going to put my intake back on, and we're going to fire it up and see how we do. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you learned something about how to replace your radiator and your heater hoses in your Focus ST. If this video helped you out, you enjoyed the content, I ask that you please hit the like button down below, subscribe to my channel, sign up for notifications, and I'll see you next time.